Wow, Deontay the Bronze Bomber, he tears into Anthony Joshua, something vicious. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We work and sign up for ESPN Plus below using my link. It does help the channel. There's a UFC card, Amanda Nunes, Colby Covington, Usman. Good card. Order that card using my link. It does help the channel once again. Wilder, there's a video on TMZ, link in the description. I can't play it for copyright reasons, and he goes berserk. You see the title, Deontay Wilder rips Anthony Joshua. You're boring, scared, and you foolish. Look at all the Facebook, shares, and man, they caught Wilder feeling generous with this particular interview because he went off, and there was no distractions. There wasn't a bunch of, people. See, the only thing is, these are almost some of the best interviews. Sometimes at fight week, you'll have multiple, just media members. It's like a scrum, and he'll be on a kick about Joshua, and then somebody, old media or something, will reach in and take, tell us about this. I heard you scuba dive, saying something crazy and get him off of the subject. But man, he had a tirade against Anthony Joshua's performance with Andy Ruiz. It says Deontay Wilder just went off on Anthony Joshua, saying that Joshua fought Ruiz like a coward, and says AJ will get demolished if they ever share the ring together. Quote, Wilder said he didn't want no engagement. He didn't want no confrontation. He was just scared. I mean, you got a 6-inch height advantage. You got an 8-inch reach advantage. Why are you running from the smaller guy? Wilder says Joshua's style was boring as hell. That whole punch, hold, grab, like you scared of confrontation. That Klitschko style, he said he was not feeling it. He says, when you're dealing with Deontay Wilder, I would have came in and demolished him. AJ says he has a plan, and his plan is to eventually fight Wilder, unify the belts. He's knows that let me finish because I got some more stuff to say. But Deontay says AJ is full of crap, claiming Joshua wants absolutely no smoke. TMZ be adding all this stuff. He didn't say nothing about no smoke. That's funny. TMZ be instigating in the mug, bro. Bro, he didn't say that. I watched it. Joshua, he definitely don't want me for sure. I live in his dreams. I'm his worst nightmare. A lot of people, they read into Joshua's bullshit, and we can't understand, and we can understand and identify. We know it's BS coming out of his mouth. We just don't have enough toilet paper to wipe it as it comes. Bottom line, Wilder says he's ready to destroy Joshua whenever, wherever AJ is willing to sign the contract, but he ain't holding his breath. In the meantime, Wilder gearing up. Rematch for Tyson Fury. Stay tuned. But yeah, this doesn't even go over all the quotes he said. You guys got to watch the video. Tyson Fury, that's an upcoming fight for Wilder. And the reporter said something to the effect of, he was on Good Morning Great Britain and says he wants you. And he's like, nah, he don't want that. I live in his dreams. I'm his worst nightmare. He don't want that. He don't want that work. And he says, I don't think he wants to fight me. He don't want to fight Tyson Fury's. He said, basically we too much men for him. So we're going to set our own history, and I'll see it when I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. You got me talking like Wilder and stuff, saying it backward. He says, I'll believe it when I see it. And that's that. Listen, new media. I told you, the walls are closing in. And the great thing about Wilder is everything he's saying, you can't even call him a hypocrite, because when he steps in that square circle, what he comes to do. Julian J. Rock Williams had a great tweet about him in his last fight. He said people saying he lacks this and lacks skill. He says, you talking about, he lost some rounds. And Julian J. Rock Williams says something to the effect of, that's because he doesn't care. He's not trying to win rounds. He's trying to send you to the hospital. So the thing I like about Deontay Wilder is nobody can deny he comes to fight. He's durable. He shows heart. He's, conducting these interviews, making you want to see his fights. And then in the square circle, he's demolishing dudes like, One Punch Man or something. So no one can ever misconstrue it and say, oh, he's trying to get cute in there and outbox this guy. He really is about what he says he's about. Savagery, catch a body, knock you out. I don't get paid by the hour type of skullduggery, and fisticuffs. So it's not like he's being hypocrite. So bottom line is, if anyone can criticize Joshua's game plan in the heavyweight division, the box, jab, hold, move, use a lot of spacing in a huge ring and stuff like that, then it's him, because that's definitely not how he fights. And everything that he comes with, that bad intention. So I like this interview from Wilder. He was going off. You guys check it on TMZ. He was man, he sounded angry, he sounded angry. Like he don't believe. He said Eddie Hearn, he's one of the main culprits why the fight ain't happened. They keep saying it, but I don't believe them. Everybody sees the BS. And I told you, the walls are closing in for Joshua. And Wilder's about what he says he's about. Like I said, when it comes stylistically, he if anyone can clown or roast Joshua's new method to win, it's Wilder, because that's definitely not his method in any of his fights to win. And I don't see it in the foreseeable future being his go-to method, where he fights a guy like Ruiz, who self-admittedly, came in horrible shape and ate everything, and fame got a little to me and all this stuff. Look, LL Cool J drops the truth on Ruiz. You blew it. They got an interview with Ruiz, and Andy Ruiz on Joshua lost. I partied too hard and ate everything. Again, that's not Joshua's problem that Andy Ruiz did that. But, I mean, look at the man's face. You've seen his body once he finally took his shirt off. Because at the weigh-in, it was hard to tell because, this is just my theory. I think Ruiz was out of control during fight week as well, because there were certain pictures at like fighter meetings and stuff like that, and they did like little photo shoot or something, and he took his shirt off and he didn't look that big. But then come Saturday, he looked huge. I'm like, what the, at the weigh-in, he looked bigger. So I didn't know if it was skullduggery is why he came in at a different weight. I wasn't quite sure what the, but even if he was, I wasn't sure if it was his actual weight or if it wasn't. But I was almost certain, putting my faith into Ruiz and team, that they're taking it serious. I thought there's no way they're going to send this man out here after what he did in the first fight without a game plan with his weight. Like, this was unplanned. And, I was wrong in that. He actually came in at an unplanned weight. And that's that. So Wilder, he just, he's expressing himself. The walls are closing in. There's no way anyone can take away credit and say Joshua didn't win fair and square. But we've seen his level of opposition versus the picture you see on the screen. This man that's on the ground fought an immaculate fight. He came in the best shape of his career. He trained with Larry Wade. Look at Floyd's face. Look at Floyd right there. He trained with UNLV coach Larry Wade. He dropped some weight, but not too much weight. He was light on his feet. He has 500 amateur fights. He was doing his thing, and he did his thing for 7 rounds. But Wilder shows you he could be undersized. He could be outweighed by opponents. He could be losing rounds. It just takes one punch to detonate, and it's a wrap. Look at Luis Ortiz's back. So people aren't going to automatically forget the level of opposition that Joshua was in there with on that given night. Again, it's not his fault that Ruiz decided to eat pizza and tacos and everything else, but I'm not going to omit it as if we didn't just see this was a man who clearly wasn't taking the fight seriously. And to me, Joshua He got the victory fair and square, but Ruiz really blew it because it's not even that he lost, it's how he lost. He didn't have to lose that bad, in my opinion. He could have possibly won. I thought he would have won. But, you know, if you disrespect your camp and your trainer, do whatever you want, and you think Joshua's just sweet, you know, he's still a gold medalist. You can't just disrespect him like that, because if Joshua's been consistent with anything, I would say it's definitely being in shape. Joshua's always in shape year round, you know, he works out, he looks like a gym rat. So I don't even understand, like, the most easy things that you thought Joshua would do, he did, and you weren't ready for it. It is just like almost unheard of. For example, you knew at the bare bones minimum Joshua would be in shape because he's always been in shape to this point of his career. Every fight he's in shape. Every fight, you know, they were talking about his body and stuff. So you knew he'd be in shape, and the world knew that Joshua would probably have a style where he burn up the clock and run and try to use his height and avoid exchange. And that's literally what he did. And it's almost like Ruiz was caught off guard. It wasn't that he was caught off guard. He just had no game plan for it, and he wasn't in proper fight shape to even do anything about it. But that's, you know, really pitiful on Ruiz's part, that is his game plan wasn't like, oh, you had to wait till Saturday to reveal what the game plan was. We knew exactly how Joshua would opt to fight in that scenario, and he fought just like we thought he was going to fight. And you had no answer for it, no plan for it, and didn't even come in shape to counteract it. But anyway, back to Wilder. The man is shining right now. He said, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine." Check out that TMZ interview. The walls are closing in for Joshua because it's not his fault Andy Ruiz came out of shape and sloppy or whatever, but it's not something that we can omit either. Versus Wilder's last opponent a couple weeks before came in the best shape, focused, dialed in, disciplined. He lost for a completely different reason. He lost just because he got hit with a shot that he couldn't, you know, get out the way of in time, and that's that. Ruiz lost because he lost before the fight, you know, was even started. Not preparing and acting like a champion, being unprofessional. You get what I'm saying? Luis Ortiz, man, look at it. Best knockout percentage in heavyweight history. So Luis Ortiz didn't lose because he was out of shape or, you know, he was so tired. He was doing what he wanted in the fight and winning the rounds. Wilder's definitely the face of boxing. Very good interview. Walls are closing in. People see it. People see all this stuff with Joshua. It's not making sense. He keeps saying, "I'm learning." You're a champion with all these belts. Hold them hot. Get rid of the belts and then, you know, go to night school and learn. You know, it's like you can't tie up the belts when other people are hungry like Wilder, trying to age him out, hoping someone else beats him, hoping he looks bad or vulnerable. Eddie Hearn's trying to send his his junkyard dog, Dillian White, as a buffer between Joshua and Wilder, but none of that works. You know, I have no desire to really even watch the Dillian White fight coming off of his last performance versus Marish Weck. The fight that needs to happen is the winner of Wilder Fury versus Joshua. The UK should be pressing for it as much as America's pressing for it, as much as Wilder is pressing for it. If Joshua, he cannot keep talking about Wilder and mention his name. You know he's tied up with Tyson Fury, but he cannot mention the king of the heavyweight division's name and fight Kubrat Pulev and then not try to fight the winner of Wilder Fury. So he's just putting more pressure. I cannot wait for 2020. Wilder says he's going to destroy him. It's up to Joshua to call his bluff and make the fight. And Joshua is definitely not in the driver's seat like they think, like this whole A side. And, you know, Eddie Hearn's going to play games and say, oh, Wilder only sold 7,000 tickets. But DAZN looks like it's failing. Wilder's stock is growing. If he knocks out Tyson Fury, which is likely his best shot to win and beat Fury, it will probably be by a knockout, you know, rather than outboxing him or outpointing him, you know. So if he knocks out Tyson Fury, he's definitely the man, you know. So he has to get past that. We can't look too far beyond that, but the walls are closing in. Wilder's fighting guys like Luis Ortiz, the likes of Luis Ortiz 2 times, and then Tyson Fury, and Joshua keeps talking about mandatories and Kubrat Pulev and Usyk, who just got up to heavyweight from cruiserweight and is 6'2", 6'3" maybe, and didn't even look good with the guy who had 2 or 3 days to plan. So I don't care what Tony Bellew says about Wilder's the easiest fight for Usyk and all that. Put him in there with Wilder then. Don't make Usyk versus Derek Chisora. Man, the walls are closing in, especially for the UK. Don't make Usyk versus Derek Chisora, no tune-up fight. Put Usyk in there with Wilder if you think it's the easiest fight. Not Joshua, Wilder, So people are going to have to start owning up to their words. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. The Bronze Bomber, has spoken. We working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.